I have way too many games. Still not finished, still installed. I really need to finish this one. Move myself a little. And there we go. Buddha moon!
Great!
Oh, there's two of them.
Hey, it's a rare one.
That one's special. Take it down if you can.
Resistant.
No! What next? Some fun! Persona! It didn't work?
Never wrong.
That's an enemy down!
What to do?
Brave Blade!
Read you like a book.
Impressive footwork, Sonata-senpai!
Alright. The Brave Blade.
This will do the trick. Artemisia!
Artemisia!
What to do?
The leader took one out. That about does it.
It's over.
No shadows detected.
Cane beads are nice.
All right, who's next?
Oh. Doko? Read the book. Destruction of morals. EXP trap. Let's humiliate Okayu. Where? Page for English version. If you want to use it, I want you to use it while streaming. I want to hear the insult. Otherwise, pay 10 diamonds to use. But don't you want to use it for free? Take Sword of Humiliating Okayu. Please make sure to use the sword that is provided. Press button on the device. Cut the Okayu dummy around the chest area once per second while berating her. Where's the button? Oh, okay. Oh, wait, I gotta think. Wait, I gotta think insults.
Hey, let's get the jump on that shot.
Kimochi, what are you doing? Ew, Kimochi, 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 what are you doing? Zako, oh, you like this, don't you?
Hercules strike!
I bet you like. You wanna lick my feet? You
Brave blade! Gigantic fist!
Lady!
I'll hit them where it hurts.
Why are your boobs so
slice.
big? That's not fair! You like showing those things off, don't you? You weirdo! Put those away! Stop that!
That about does it.
It's over.
Shadows detected.
Come on! Hentai!
Right then, moving on.
Zako! Kimochi, what are we? Hentai! Where is the...
Could it be? What a kill! What the kill?
I know. I show you my set.
It's 使ってたの？
はいはいはい
なんでびっく
振りしてるのビードゥ。
Hey, set.
恥ずかしい。
Un momento, por favor.
Six British officers arrest two parents in front of their children for criticizing a school. So this is freedom of speech over in the UK. They rolling 6 deep. 6.
Ha
All right.
Gotcha, bitch.
That one's special. Take it down if you can.
Let's see.
It's a strong one. Be on your guard.
First, let's do Brave Blade.
Nice one, leader.
That works.
Get ready.
Oh, this is not good. Oh, thank God.
You're hurt. Do you have any healing? You don't have much time. I'll hit them where it hurts. Can you heal up? I'll show you. Pull the trigger. Ice it.
Appreciate it.
Time for another Brave Blade.
Oh,
God damn.
good work out there.
That's a lot of damage.
Amazing.
Nice. Nice.
Careful, the enemy's nearby.
Warhammer 40k is a sci-fi universe with massive roots in general fantasy, taking the tropes of all kinds of old Tolkien and modern. Humanity is out doing their thing. So humanity, 21st century, it all happens how we know it happens. We're living in our world right now. This episode of YouTube is canon in the 40k universe in a sense.
Happen to be here. Yeah.
It's just, you know, the world is... Eventually, humanity gets really, really good at, like, everything. This is known as the golden age of technology. This is your classic high-end stuff. You know, the highest possible stuff. Want for nods, just, like, one of the things, there was a golden age technology ship, and it was found. And I think it fought the Eldar or something, and it fired a weapon at the Eldar that took their ship and teleported back 4 seconds in time to then overlay it on itself and blow it up.
That's amazing.
We're at like Necron levels of technology. We are so advanced.
Okay.
Going on with this, we also made a ton of AI because every sci-fi world needs an AI
that'll work
uprising.
out fine. It's cool.
Yeah. So eventually, you know, we're like the greatest we could possibly be. We were sending out colony ships all over the place. We're giving them the
Do the same thing
like a fabricator unit that lets them. You remember Subnautica where you take 2 rocks and a stick and you make like a, Everyone has one of those. It's amazing. Eldar get doing their thing, and because they're like boiling up this weird Slanesh stuff, life just gets really bad for everyone else. There's a thing called a warp storm, which is, a storm on the seas. It causes a lot of problems because for humanity, the only way to do interstellar travel is to go into the warp and then come out of it. From there, the Eldar's hedonism ruined the warp so badly, it was nearly impossible. So you combine with a massive AI uprising that was like galaxy-wide. You combine that with basically making it so that interstellar travel was just turned off. Just gone. You had everyone was relying on everything. It's gone. So all of humanity, and then combine that with like some of the human psychers were popping up on planets, which they don't really know how to use that yet. So demons are like, oh hell yeah, this is mine. And then there's like a burst from their brain and start murdering people. All of that at once happened at one time, and that was known as the Age of Strife. They actually refer to that age technology as the Dark Age of technology, because it was when...
Yeah, like in the timeline, when would this have been? So I know you were talking about like, the Necron are millions and millions of years ago, and then you have the Eldar come up and it's their time, and alongside that, but probably not exactly, is humanity. And so what was the... How long did it take us in this fantasy world, this universe, to get from, us on this podcast to we're in space and we have AI? Like, what was that time period? I'm just curious because, eventually we have to get to 40K.
Right. So I actually had to look this up because I actually forgot myself. It was from 15th to the 25th millennium.
Pretty well.
Okay, so 15,000 or 16,000, whatever, to 25, 26.
All right.
And then that was the onset of the Age of Strife. It's also known as Old Night on human Earth, and that was from about 5,000 years, from 25 to about 30-ish. It actually ended when Slanesh was birthed and the Eldar were all destroyed. Because it was this kind of, it was like bursting a big bubble. All this hedonism, everything, Slanesh arrives, eats everybody, and then it kind of like deflates. And so then interstellar travel came back online. People could go places again, but 5,000 years of no travel. Imagine if you're like a colony world that relies on food from elsewhere. Bad times.
Right. So how did that affect those worlds? And I imagine during that time, have they delved into that with books or media and been like, well, what was going on over there on, faraway Prime that we haven't seen in 5,000 years?
That's actually a great segue. So in 30, there's something called the Great Crusade. And this is basically the Emperor, and it's the unification of humanity again. So, some worlds just died. They have no food, no one can travel, they all starved. Crap. Some worlds were eaten by demons because there's warp everywhere. Some lived and survived. Some fell to chaos. Some, remember, I'm sure you've seen the big stompy robots that Imperial have.
Yeah.
Those are called knights. They were originally big pieces of farming equipment and like just things to help with, cutting trees and stuff like that. But eventually, those that were able to pilot those knight robots over the course of 5,000 years of culture and history were the only defense those planets had. So knights are actually knights. They became a knight world. It's a chivalric code. So all of the knights are very, like, they have tabards, they have codes of honor. It's called the Code Chivalric. And then they actually were the main protectors for these worlds for 5,000 years. So we have night worlds now, and they come from houses. Yeah, it's really fun. There's a book called Assassin Norm Kingmaker. It's you read it and you're like, oh, I'll take 6 nights, please. Like it just gets you so into it because it's all about their honor code and how they operate. It's great. From there, during 2,500 give or take to 30K, give or around. The Emperor eventually kind of shows up. We don't. The whole point of the Emperor is you don't know where he's from. No idea. Some people thought he was like a big suicide pact with shamans. and they birthed him. And some people said that he was always around, he was just kind of undercover or something. Some of the old one. I personally think if we do find out, it kind of cheapens the character.
Oh, agreed.
Yeah. So it's nice to know if you don't know. But he eventually shows up. He leads this big old unification on Terra called the Unification Wars. Sorry, Terra is Earth. In this situation, it's called Terra. And then he kind of sends them all back up together, puts them all back together, and then from there, he's like, okay, now it's time to go out and reunite humanity.
I am curious if he's around 5,000 years running a crusade. How, as you said, came from somewhere we do not know, could be one of the most powerful people in all of existence. He just also could live forever? Is he immortal or just a dude who lives a long time and aging is not perceived by people? At least in this time period before it all kind of goes down.
Here's the meta answer. I'm going to give the meta answer to this one. Is that it depends on the writer.
Okay.
The Emperor is probably the least consistent character in all of the universe. One that people consider him dead now, though he's not, because the Chaos and they call him the Corpse Emperor or the Corpse Servants of the Corpse God. There's like the first Horus Heresy book. The first line is, "I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor." And you've seen him on his throne. He's all like degraded and decomposed. Very
famous. I think I don't know if that's real art or fan art, but it's like the most famous Emperor picture. Every time anyone has a video, it's always his corpse ass on that throne with this weird little eye thing. Yeah.
No, that is official art. That is an official artwork for him. We just don't know. So the Emperor is an insanely powerful psychic, and so powerful that he can kind of make himself look big, look small, adjust how he appears to people. He can kind of hide in plain sight because the dude's like 16 feet tall if he wants to, or he's 10 feet tall, or he's 12. It depends on the writer. Again, but you can consider him somewhat of a godlike being. But now we're going to get into some philosophy, like define a god. You know,
he has powers beyond the normal person in a way that we would perceive them as, it's one of those like we just aren't capable of doing the same. So he's like, he has godlike powers, basically.
Right, exactly. But at the same time, whether or not he is considered a deity is a major story point of the Horus Heresy.
Right. And
defining him as a god.
Yeah, one of the things I actually really do like, and this might have been from one of your videos, I do not remember, or maybe I just picked it up along the way, but I love the idea that during his time alive, as he was bringing everyone together and he's trying to reunite mankind, he's trying to do his best for humanity, he's really adamant about like, don't worship me, I'm just a dude out here doing my thing. And then the minute he dies, air quotes, everyone's like, we will create a society based around him as our god. And if you don't like that, we're going to kill you because you're a heretic and he is our god. And I think that's really both clever as sort of a foundation for humanity of this time period, but also just like a neat story detail to add that he's like, no, please don't. And everyone's like, okay, we will.
Yeah, they martyr him immediately. It was actually a thing that was kind of already happening. A lot of because it's like, this is an old meme that's basically like, do not worship me, said the 10-foot-tall golden demigod that lives forever. Gods are awful. Like so for the Emperor, the reason why he didn't want that is because he believes the existence of religion in its own right is a problem, because eventually that will dovetail into the other gods, which are chaos.
Right.
Because, like, for example, Nurgle, right? Nurgle is the god of pestilence and death. But every chaos god has a flip. There's the good and the bad. So the Nurgle is also the acceptance of life. Right. Everything rots, everything decays. Therefore, to allow it just to happen is in its own right a good thing. If you were to pray for the salvation of a loved one to live through cancer, you are feeding Nurgle. Eventually, that planet over there is 5,000 years old. Like, they're gonna pray to a bunch of stuff. You can't watch them the whole time. So eventually,
oh my god,
a demon of Nurgle
choose the
might
justice.
answer your prayer. maybe in the way you want, probably not. And the next thing you know, you've got a demonic incursion and your planet's dying.
That's one of the things I really enjoy about chaos as a concept is that double-sided idea of, you know, if you're a guy who is corrupted by Nurgle, yeah, you may be rotting away and just the grossest dude who ever lived, but you feel great. You've never felt better. And I love that. I love that idea. And I can understand why people would fall into that. And so it's very interesting that then you would have the Emperor be like, yeah, no, everything can lead to corruption by demons because it's all connected in some way to something they have their hands in. And so I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Well, one of the a phenomenal book. It's called The First Heretic. And it follows Primarch Lorgar of the Word Bearers. And Lorgar was birthed on a planet that worshipped chaos, that he didn't realize worshipped chaos. They had like a different spin on it. For example, in one of the Eisenhorn books, the first planet they go to worships the sun. But they worship the Emperor as the sun. Which is not like an abnormal thing. Like it's just how they see it.
Sure.
Lorgar is one of the people who was like, the Emperor is a god. He is a god. And then eventually the opening of the first Heretic book was the Emperor basically being like blowing up his Jerusalem and telling him like, stop it.
Accepting a request?
He was very upset. And
Wonderful.
so Lorgar eventually was like, okay, if the Emperor is not a deity or whatever, I will find deities worthy of worship.
Very well.
Gotcha.
And it led him down the chaos route.
And it's interesting as a concept to say, hey, don't worship me, but also have him be the one guy
Welcome to
who
the
can
Velvet
keep
Room.
them traveling. Because as you mentioned, warp inaccessible,
What
no one's for
kind of
5,000
persona
ye's, it's all a mess.
do
But the
you
Emperor, I
desire?
guess, is able to get people through.
When you okay, so we're like it's because I have to build upon what I've already mentioned, right? So
Sure.
it's like
Take
everything is
all
built
the
upon. We're doing the
time you
iceberg
need
thing.
to consider.
Please, take a look.
So you have the warp, right?
Registering,
You're
I see.
so I
Will
just
you
learned. I actually learned
register
this a few
to
months ago. It's
become
wild to me. So do you know how to ship travels in 40K?
It depends
Will you
on the
choose?
faction, but at least
Yes.
my understanding would be
This persona.
that
For humanity.
Right.
Is this
That a
acceptable?
lot of basically the Emperor is kind of like, I don't want to say lighthouse, but he's the beacon. He's pointing them in a direction. They can use the Emperor even in his decrepit,
This
semi-dead,
person choose what
semi-alive
skills to
state where he's just on his throne. His psyker powers, his ability to connect to the warp is so powerful that they use it as a compass, basically, to get around in there and pop out where they need to pop out, which is why he's so
you have been
important to them,
blessed with-
and losing him would be bad.
Why, this
And
is
then when they're
exciting,
actually
isn't
doing it, it basically, as far as I'm aware, involves a lot of people dying to get it done.
Okay, this is great. You're about to learn some lovely stuff.
I'm here for it.
Okay, so the warp is the Sea of Souls, right? You need to view it as more like a sea than you would expect.
You can't control
You
this
are
one.
not. When you travel in the Sea of Souls, you are traveling on a current of souls.
You can't
So
control this
this
one.
whole universe exists in the Milky Way. This is our Milky Way. If you fly out of the Milky Way galaxy, you are farther away from the warp. And therefore, there's no emotion, there's no death, there's no souls, there's no nothing. So the seas are still.
Seeing what
So if you
personas
try to
come
go into the
be
warp
is
from
a
outside the
great
galaxy,
joy of mine.
you are floating.
Well,
Interesting.
You go too
shall we
high,
take a look?
floating, right? Like, so you need
This
to be
would be a
in
wise
there
choice.
to ride the seas. The Emperor, currently on the throne, acts as, you're correct, like a North Star. In order to get
This
into the warp,
persona, please
every
choose
single
what skills
ship
to
needs a
inherit.
navigator. And a navigator is a psyker that has this big third eye on their head. And so they close their eyes, they open their third eye, and it is a direct connection to the
appears
warp.
it
If
will
you look
receive-
into it, you die
well,
immediately.
well.
Oh, okay.
It's instant death, just gone. It's the third eye's power, and so they are on a ship. They're all like hooked in everything. They close their eyes, they open their third eye, and that makes a warp jump into the portal, and they navigate the ship through the warp. When they
This
open their
power
eye, they
might
see
be
the Emperor's
Satan.
North Star, and they know exactly where to go from there. Now, the farther out into the reaches of the galaxy you go, the dimmer the star becomes, the harder it is to see. Now,
This
you might be
persona is
asking,
powerful. What
how
do you
the
wish
hell
to inherit?
do they survive in the Sea of Souls, right? Because if you go into the warp without a shielding, demons will immediately invade your ship and kill all.
it will receive
And so what they have is a
So
thing
it
called the
begins.
Geller Field. Now most people know of the Geller Field as a shield for the ship to help protect them against the demons and stuff. I found out like a month ago what a Geller Field actually is, because everyone just knows it as a shield. What it actually is, it is a comatose psyker that dreams, and they dream a projection of reality in unreality. So you have the ship. The field is not a shield. It's not a shield. It is a zone of reality that they travel to. So if the psyker dies, something goes problem, you go into unreality, and all the demons just come
large
through you.
amount. It
So-
appears
so-
it will receive a
Fascinating, because it does
So
seem like
ridiculous.
it seems like a lot of effort goes into being able to do this. It's a lot more complicated than most sci-fi warp technology where you press a button and you just are there. This is a process that seems more akin to what you were saying, traveling between, North America and Europe circa, 1400s. It's that kind of, it's a little dangerous and people will not make it. And I also, and I don't know how true this is, I'm also thinking that I read somewhere that also just to get the engines working, people are constantly exposed to radiation. There's just a lot of, like, the Emperor himself, just to be kept alive, they're sacrificing people to him constantly. I guess for him, there's like constantly killing people. There's like it goes back to the idea that in your mind you're thinking, humanity, hell yeah, we're pretty cool. But in this universe, in this setting, in order to keep the system functioning, they really aren't that great. It's kind of like a theocratic, bureaucratic hellscape.
Yeah. So
Uno
a
momento,
little
please.
to get a little meta here. Warhammer was conceived in the 80s, right? Late 80s. There's an orc war boss, the most popular orc. His name is Gazkul Mak Uruk Thraka. Does that sound like anyone to you at all?
Gazkul Mak Uruk
Mak Uruk
Thraka?
Thraka.
No.
Margaret Thatcher.
That's Margaret Thatcher. But in orc
Margaret
speak, that's hilarious. Are you kidding me? That's so funny.
One of the Inquisitors is like Obi-Wan Sherlock Costello. Like, it's just, they just don't care, man. It's
Right.
it's farcical, right? A lot of early Warhammer stuff. Well, in the beginning, it was just like, cool 80s, it's badass, right?
Right.
But as the lore has been fleshed out, they do put a lot more emphasis on the Big Brother, totalitarian, just like horrendous regime that has become. The Emperor itself, he's a tyrant, he's a dictator. Like, anyone who disagrees with him is generally killed. And then anyone who doesn't believe in him is now killed.
Right.
It's this combination of massive political bureaucracy mixed with a heavy amount of religious zealots that inform the state.
It's a little. It's weird to say this, but it's like a little Dooney, considering that's pop culture right now.
It's very Dooney. It's
Yeah.
very Dooney.
Where technology is a big no-no, and the tech they do have is all very old, and they don't know how to use it. And I think it's very interesting that humanity has this sort of like, oh man, AI and robots and all that stuff, they're the worst. But also, we have friends on Mars, and that's their whole vibe. And I think it's like a fun, weird, hypocritical thing where they have a machine god on Mars, and they're like, yeah, let these guys do their thing. But also, we hate all that. And we're going to tell everyone we hate it, but like, let them do their thing, though, because we may need them. And I love that they layer humanity in a way that isn't just like, we're the good guys, and we're here to save the day. I think it's fun.
No, there is nothing more anti-human than the humans in this universe. So on your point, yes, the Emperor has sacrificed 1,000 psychers a day to keep him alive. Because they found out that you can kind of suck the life energy out of a psyker by another psyker to sustain themselves. So he is kept alive on his throne by doing that. They go into it in one of the books. It is a monstrous process. It is horrendous. They trap you in a coffin. It's kind of like suck your life away. It's very claustrophobic. It's pretty awful. As for everything else, like a Warhammer ship is like 50,000 people on that ship, and at every deck becomes worse. There are gun gangs You have a gigantic like frigate with a huge cannon on the side, and it is manned by the gang of like 100 people there, horribly mutated, horribly arranged, dying, and with their like AdMech, the Mars guy, with a giant cattle prod and whip, just like load the gun, and in a giant battle you have hundreds of people loading cannons the size of small trains into the ship, while like the main officer is shouting through like grabs the thing up top and like yells into the big horn, and like, it's everything old and new. It's a weird combination, but yes, it is that kind of level of regime. With that kind of, no one has any civil liberties. There's no freedoms. You know, you serve the state, and then especially with like the AdMech, you know, you don't serve the state. You're servitorized and turned into, you know, a walking slave. Honestly,
yeah, there's a lot of really. I mean, I guess I was about to say it's pretty grim, but I guess that's the point. It is grim, dark fantasy. That's the vibe.
In the grim darkness of the far future.
It's interesting that humanity, when you see a lot of their art or their different characters that they have, or you know, any sort of figures, it isn't just like, oh, that's a cool guy in a suit of armor. There's a weird baby robot with wings. Or a head.
Cherubs.
Yeah, like a flying head thing. It is utterly bizarre and terrifying, yet somehow incredibly, I don't want to say human, but yeah, human. It is fascinating to watch what the Imperium has come up with in order to sort of continue themselves. And it almost feels like, much like the Emperor, it's kind of a corpse of humanity.
Yes, so a huge moral point of a lot of Warhammer is the degradation of society. If we're getting like really into it. The Necrons were at the peak of their world, and 60 million years later, they're just now waking up decrepit and problematic. The Eldar are a shell of their society due to their hedonism. The Orcs have kind of beat themselves up so much that their mental state has degraded, because Orcs get smarter the more they fight, but they only had each other to fight. Then you have, I mean, goodness gracious, the Imperium, of course, was the Golden Age technology, and then they crumbled themselves. Every faction is a shell of their former self. You mentioned the guys on Mars, AdMech.
Going with this team.
Interesting story on that one. Emperor took over the world in the Unification Wars, fixed it. All the people on Mars during the horrifying Age of Strife, they nuclear bombed their planet into dust. And so they were all forced to like live underground and stuff. And so people who knew how to operate life support systems were the most important people by far, because they didn't know how to do it, because no one knew how to operate these things. So they became revered. They became the first ever tech priests. And from there, that became a whole new society where, to add to the AdMech, you cannot invent new technology, because to invent new technology would be blaspheming against the god of machines. All technology has already been made. So instead, AdMech seek those ships from the Dark Age technology to rekindle knowledge instead. So invention is its own issue. You can't have that. They need to find the old stuff, but therefore everything works weird, right?
Yeah. And so humanity not doing too great. But what else? I mean, who else is out there?
So, yeah, obviously humanity right now, they have a million worlds. It's often said they have 1 million planets, colonized planets. They are a horde army when you run them on the tabletop, humans. And so they're out and about causing all their issues. As far as everyone else, you do have chaos. Though I do feel like we should at least mention the Space Marines a little bit before we.
Oh yeah, of course. From my understanding of Space Marines in general, and this is based literally on just playing games and media, they were at some point a really cool normal dude that was then taken, probably as a child, and then broken down, beat up, and reformed into a superhuman soldier with a, oh boy, gene seed? Question mark? From the Emperor. So at the top we have the Emperor. And the Emperor's like, yo, in order to go reestablish the Empire, go out and fight all my wars, I need some sons, and these sons are straight up just going to be clones of me, and each one is going to have a fun little meta thing with them. Like, these guys are kind of vampire-y, and these guys like fire, and these guys, right? Just so it's fun to play on tabletop. And
Absolutely.
And so each one
so
was
far
a little,
so good.
Each one's a little different.
Resuming
And then
exploration.
they all go out and do their thing. And interesting, just like kind of the Roman legions, some of them just straight up vanish. You don't know where they're at, and that's kind of fun. And then at some point, one of them, I assume Horus from Horus, I assume that's why it's called that, is corrupted by the Chaos Gods, and is like, yo, what if you go be the Emperor? And he's like, that's a cool idea. And so war is waged on Earth, and I believe Horus is murdered, or killed by the Emperor, but he gets like a on the Emperor, and he's like, man, I really screwed the pooch on this one, and it's just been a mess ever since.
You're pretty darn close. Yeah, the Emperor forged, he crafted all of his sons, the Primarchs is what they're called. And then eventually Chaos, it's assumed he struck a deal with Chaos, the Emperor, to make the sons, and then he backed out on the deal. That's kind of a weird part in the lore. It's a little weirdo. There's a lot of parts in the lore that are like, but then eventually Chaos was like, well, like, screw you, man, and he grabbed all of his sons and threw them out into the galaxy. So part of the Great Crusade was not just unifying the world.
Getting them back.
It was getting them back. And so, yes, each of the legions have the gene seed of the Primarch, which tends to not necessarily make them like completely the same, but it tends to kind of get closer. For example, if you were like, I don't know, like Jagatai Khan is the Primarch of the White Scars. Very, very heavy on the Mongolian vibe, those ones. If you were like to have the gene seed of it, you'd probably be a lot more interested in riding bikes and doing things like that. But it won't like turn your body to look like him. You'll maybe a little bit more like him, but you're not gonna like completely change your like race, build, and things like that. Like they're all a little different. I mean, even you saw like in Space Marine 2, your squad mates, Rabute Gilliman Ultramarines is their Primarch, but you all look a little different, right?
Sure.
You all have your own ethnicity and things like that.
But the build of them, the reason why they're so buff, that's just breaking. That's like genetics,
drugs, and genetics, and like,
okay.
It is you being taken generally as a child, indoctrinated, broken. I think 1% survive. It's a very low number. That is part of it, but unfortunately, due to the worlds they end up on, that tends to be what kind of screws with a few of them. Right. So a great example for one would be the Lion. The Lion is the First Legion, the Dark Angels, and he's kind of a blonde Knights of the Round Table kind of guy. His world was on Caliban, and Caliban had like warp monsters in its weird shifting forests. He is an interesting character because he was always seen as the noble Knights of the Round Table. If you ever see the Dark Angel minis, they always have hoods, like they're called like Ezekiel and things like that. But he himself survived like Tarzan in the middle of the world, but like it turned him into a ruthless murderer. And so he plays up the noble knight, but in reality, he's like the Emperor's back alley executioner. He's like, I want you to kill that whole planet, and I want no one to know about it. On the flip side, Leman Russ. Leman Russ is the Nordic one, the space wolf guy. He plays the savage. He's this like grumbly, drinking mead all the time, eating a bunch of like fist fighting wolves, that kind of guy. But underneath, he's actually like a real caring kind of person.
Yeah, that's the little I know of, and again, I'm not sure who they are, but the faction of Space Marines that kind of has the I don't want to like, I'm trying to think of the best words. I don't want to say Chaos Dwarf because that's not what they are, but they literally look like they live in a volcano. They're the coolest looking dudes.
The salamanders.
Yes.
The green armor, yeah?
Yeah, they look cool as hell, but also from what I've read, they're just like, we're just chill dudes. They're like, hey man, you're doing all right.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would be the salamander. That's Vulcan. Vulcan is this just behemoth of a man. And he was dropped there on Nocturne. It's a volcano.
That explains that. Yeah.
That makes plenty of sense. And so a lot of the culture of people there have had their skin look very it's very like an ashy black color. But because of their culture there on Nocturne, they're very much into blacksmithing. But also very familial. I think the only Space Marine chapter lets you see your family afterwards. After you like get taken to the Space Marines. Maybe don't quote me on that one, but if there's others, it's like 2.
Sure.
So they tend to be a lot more of like, we're stalwart protectors. We are there for the humanity's citizenship. Because most Space Marines still look like humans.
Right.
I don't know if I'm sure you played Space Marine too. Like half the time your squad mates are like, you stupid guardsmen, fight better, idiots.
Right.
You know, they're kind of dicks.
Yeah, and it's in all media. Anytime there's a guardsman, anytime there's a normal human, it's very funny to watch the reaction anytime the Space Marine shows up. Because either they're like, oh, shit, or they're terrified. There is no in between.
Yes, that is, I mean, to a regular person in Warhammer, seeing one of the Emperor's Angels is like, oh my god, right? It is a world-shattering view. It's funny because like then you have like the orcs, right? And the orcs have muscles the size of like tires, and they're enormous. They're dense and huge. And so you see an orc, and they're walloping on people, and they're hitting them with like clubs. And then a big orc arrives and just rips a Space Marine in half. And then obviously all the guardsmen sitting there are like, oh my god, like oh, we're so doomed. Right? And so it's interesting, but Space Marines themselves, yeah, they are the face of the franchise, but they are in very short numbers technically. 99.9% of humanity's wars are fought with the Guardsmen. Right. Yeah, the Space Marines are there for a surgical strike.
Just dudes. And that's exactly what the Secret Level episode was. It was a surgical strike with, 4 dudes going against a straight up just horde of chaos. It was cool as hell. That was so much fun.
I loved that so much because the entire episode, you're like, what the hell is the coffin? What the hell are they dragging across the way? Even I didn't know. I was like, what is that? What are they doing? And then they get there, and I guess because this is like a suicide mission, they just didn't want to waste a librarian, which is a Space Marine Psyker. And so they just brought their Psyker in a box to help them against the demons. Because he pops out and he starts doing a chant. I'm like, what the heck is this?
That was cool.
And then he dies immediately.
Yeah. I thought that was totally neat.
It was so cool, but I love how immediately they don't even protect him and he just dies.
Well, yeah.
He just gets a spear thrown at him.
I think it goes to show in that moment, but also just in general for humanity, like you're saying, if you have that many worlds and that many people, life means less.
There's a great story. I'm sure any of the people watching this who know me know I'm going to talk about the Night Lords at some point. So Night Lords are a faction of Chaos Space Marines. They follow Conrad Kurz as their Primarch. He is basically like, what if Batman chose violence? Like, what if Batman loved to like eat people? You know, and that kind of stuff. It's like his world was this awful world, and eventually he subjugated it by being like, hey, everyone gets a TV in their house. Time for your daily designated torture so that you never commit a crime. And so they're very Slavic. They have very kind of like Russian accents, very kind of pale. Their eyes are jet black. In one of the novels I read, because it's a trilogy and it follows a group of chaos space marines, people who just love to maim and torture. And they're your protagonists. One of the main characters in that book is called Septimus, because he's their 7th slave. Love it. But one of the characters in the book is a line worker for the Imperium, and he goes back to his like 300 square foot half block after his 16-hour work shift, doing a job that's so menial they won't program a robot to do it. Like, and he's like, oh, just 7 more years of this, I'll finally be able to buy a ticket off this place to a place with real prospects. And like, it's such a horrible existence that the writer did that to be like, because he got taken as a slave later on by the main cast, and be like, hey, your life aboard this slave ship is like somehow a little better. And don't get me wrong, he might just be skinned alive at some point because some dude had a fun fit.
Right.
But it's currently better than it was. And like, that's just crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you read, this is so weird, but I was reading about serfdom. Like just real ass serfdom. And one of the things I saw
Object of
is
value
that serfs got more days off than the modern
We
workers.
have an advantage. We got the advantage.
And I thought,
Oh, you mean real life servers?
real life serfs. And I was
Really?
and that hearing this makes me think of that. Where when we think serfdom, we think like what a terrible existence that must have been. But like also,
For an electric shock.
you know, like compared to modern life, what would they have said about us? I would love to know. And so the idea of a guy who is living this terrible life and then he gets taken aboard this chaos ship as a chaos slave, he's like, you know, I got to sleep an extra hour tonight. Like that kind of thing where maybe you can see why, especially if it's going to be a book about chaos, you have to have that like outside in character. I can see how having that person come aboard could be very interesting to write about. Obviously, like you said, it's not a better situation. You will die terribly. But I can understand why someone would read that. Just like me reading about serfs being like, they got an extra day off tonight? What the hell? Knowing I still would never want to be a serf. But reading that, I was like, hold up, what do you mean? Maybe that's pretty cool. But in fact, probably not.
Now we've been on humanity for a while now. It's an interesting topic. It takes up so much of the universe, obviously. But other factions you mentioned. So chaos, of course, is a big part of it. You've seen the demons. You've seen those kind of groups. Though, of course, the other half of the chaos. It's funny you mentioned Horus. I mentioned Lorgar a bit earlier. I would argue Lorgar. Well, I'm gonna go back here. There's a little dickhead named Erebus, and Erebus is the worst ever. And then he talked and convinced Lorgar to do all this awful chaos stuff, and the two of them convinced Horus to do the terrible stuff. And then everyone else fell in line. Because Horus was like the guy. Everyone loved him, so he was like the guy. There are 18 Primarchs, 9 of them turned traitor. And so they are still currently out and about. Well, some of them are currently still out and about.
Good.
You have like Mortarion, he's the main Primarch of the Death Guard. So they're all
Here
big
are
and
my
stinky
requests.
Nurgle Marines. Did you see the new Fulgrim mini that came out recently? Because
Very well.
Fulgrim is, he just recently got a new miniature. He's coming out very soon. He is the Slanesh Primarch, the one that fell with Slanesh. And so he's this big old snake boy.
Welcome
He's
to the
very
Velvet
much like
Room.
ascended into that demonhood. So they're all out and about murdering the Imperials. And because to them, they consider themselves betrayed by the Emperor. And so, but of course, they're in the loop with chaos, so there's that problem. You know, it's an issue, of course. Those big knights I mentioned earlier, the big sonic robots,
This
there's
would be
chaos
a
versions
wise
of those,
choice. What do you
which is
wish
pretty
to
fun.
inherit?
But besides that, I'm sure what you're curious more about is the Xenos races, the aliens.
Sure.
So obviously, I mentioned Necrons before. You have the Eldar, and there's 3 factions. There's the High Elf Craft World Eldar that kind of go do their Code of Bushido on the side. You have the Drukhari, the worst people ever, who are out there doing the worst things that you could never imagine, and probably the stuff you can't. And then you have the Harlequins, which are the dancing clown troupe. Okay? Weirdos, those guys. They are genuinely performing elves that kind of don't really have an allegiance to anyone. They kind of go around, but they're always like moving in this weird swathing
power might be
dance.
too much for
They're
you.
tricksters, they're schemers, they're weird, but they follow something called the Laughing
You
God.
can't control
And the
this
Laughing
yet.
God has been known to steal souls away from Slanesh because
This
they're funny
persona
like
is
that.
powerful.
And so they're really
This
strange. They're like
persona is
performing
powerful.
jesters. They have their own machinations and
This
weird
would be a lie. Please
schemes,
choose what
but they're
skills to inherit.
a dancing carnival.
In my mind, I thought you were going to say, much like fantasy, high elves, dark elves,
would be a wise
wood
choice.
elves. And I was waiting for you to
This
tell me what the
persona is
wood elf
powerful.
version was.
Now they do have wood elves, kind of. They're called the Exodites. They're basically elves that are like, hey, we're not the weirdo ones, we're not the dark Eldar, we don't want to be those big craft world people.
This would be a
We
lie.
go
Please
and
choose
ride
what
like
skills to
dinosaurs
inherit.
on forest planets. Though they don't have any miniatures of that. Or
All right, I was
anything.
about to say,
That's-
like, that sounds cool as
Yes.
hell, but all right.
It is cool as hell, but that is
A new
that's like
power
a
emerges.
it exists, but we don't see it.
Gotcha.
So orcs, of course, orcs are out and about. They are, if they aren't beating each other up, they're beating everyone else up. Honestly, the only thing that is really hugely different about them is that they're weird ramshackle kind of power of belief. But besides that, they're the orcs that you
This
know and
persona
love.
do you
They
wish to inherit?
they talk in a British hooligan accent. They beat stuff up all the time. They have giant guns. They throw like moons at you. They're just you
Love
know,
it. Sounds great.
destruction.
Yeah.
Easy. What else we got here? The Tyranids. The Tyranids. So they've been around since like the early 90s, I think, or the 80s, but they don't really have much lore. And that's kind of on purpose. They are the unknowable hive mind from outside our galactic rim. Basically, every Tyranid is linked via a psychic connection to the hive mind. This all-knowing whatever this thing is. And so the Tyranids, if they're going to invade like a human planet, they cast something called the Shadow in the Warp, which is like this Tyranid presence in the warp itself. So when you try to call for aid, because you call messages through the warp, it's kind of like smothered. And so very often it like cuts off all line of communication, and then you're just swarmed. Actually, that was a big part of the Space Marine 2 game. The Psychers were like, we can't call stuff. The Shadow, it's gonna kill us all. But they're basically just a hyper adaptive alien race. You shoot them with a special poison, then they start like spitting out dudes that are resistant to that poison. You have big walking mechs, they spawn the same sized bug to mollywop you. Like, they're very adaptive. And then this also kind of goes in line with the gene. Do you know anything about gene stealer cults? So gene stealers are your classic kind of alien, like 1970s alien type looking thing.
Okay,
they have the gene stealer kiss, which is like it infects you. And then you will then slowly pass down the gene stealer gene over the course of generations. So very slowly your genetic makeup will be adjusted, and you'll start looking a little bit weirder, and then a little bit weirder, and like, oh, at first it's like your skin is a little purpley, but honestly, in the world of 40K, that's not abnormal. If you're in like the hive sunken cities, you have like all kinds of problems. And then you may have like a third arm, and then etc. And then you start looking closer to an alien. G-Star Codes are relatively recent as an army, but their vibe has been somewhat more formed lately. So for some funny meta context, Necrons used to literally just be Terminator ripoffs. Their special ability was that they would reknit themselves and come back alive, which is still their thing right now. But their ability was called "We'll Be Back." Dude, perfect, amazing. They were unthinking robots, very Terminator-esque. But then they started to be like, okay, let's lean harder into the Egyptian side. Let's kind of flesh it out, right? For Gene Stealer Cults, I'll send you this image of their 9th edition Codex art.
You can't
They
charm her.
are the masses uprising
Massively
against
in
the
love with someone
oppressors.
else.
And so they are literally, it is literally it's the miners, it's the workers, it's the sump dreads, and they're all psychically linked together, and they don't even sometimes even really know it. But then very lightly, the threads are plucked and the strings
Man
are
on the
woven.
toilet. Man on
And
the
then
toilet. Man
it's
on the
they something they
toilet.
call Ascension Day, which is when the
Teamwork,
Tyranids are
everyone.
about to
Now
invade.
on to the next.
They bust out of all of the manholes and the covers, and they immediately like show that they're the right-hand man to the governor of the planet, just gets shot right there, and then a bunch of people like mining tools and demolition charges come out of the streets and pure anarchy and havoc. And so that's kind of their vibe. In that image, you can see them pulling that big statue in the background with all the tethers.
Yeah, so like what happens? So the Tyranid are basically just overmind-driven space. I want to say bugs, but that's not necessarily the case. They're all sorts of crazy animal-looking things.
Aliens.
Yeah, again, for those of you who are more familiar with the Blizzard versus Zerg, just think Zerg. That's really what they are. But you have these creatures that come to your planet and eat
Perfect.
everything.
Just what we hoped for.
What happens to these people? Are they eaten too?
So it's funny you say eat everything. That's like not saying eat everything is not even doing it enough justice. They strip it bare. There was a little short story about a governor who screwed up and didn't reward his people at the Tyranid invasion, and he was a mountaineer, and so he was climbing a mountain near the end of his life because everyone around them was being killed. He sees these giant pillory towers from space sucking up all this biomass and matter to this thing, and he was like, "I am a trained mountaineer. the air should not be this thin up here. They will not even leave our air. Like it leaves a dead rock when they leave.
Do we know why it's just all repurposed to make more of them? Is that it?
Yep, every single piece of biomass is melted down and turned into more bugs. It becomes a big problem because every time they win, they become stronger. In the terms of writing in books, they tend to never win because they can't. Because,
But in the writing in the books, there's interesting bits that I keep seeing where it's like, well, we beat them here, but then they showed up in this other part of the galaxy. And I think that's pretty creative, but I also don't know what that means. When like you beat them and then they just appear in a different part of the galaxy, what is that about?
Okay, so I'm sorry that I have to keep using visual representations.
I'll take visual
here.
representations any day. I love them.
Do you know Pat stares at?
Sure. Yeah.
I was talking. Me and him and his wife were all playing Space Marine. And I think she has a bit of a fear of like the endless vastness of space.
Okay.
Right, and like that kind of like megalophobia. This is that fear personified. The other image I sent, you may notice hive fleets from various Tyranids are arriving in our galaxy from multiple locations, which brings the question of, okay, so it's not just a fleet; it is multiple. Like, we could be surrounded.
Right. Okay.
Genuinely surrounded.
So a little bit of like a dead universe problem, or one of those ideas of like a dark forest. Like, why don't we find aliens? It relates to us in real life, where it's like, why don't we see aliens all over the place? The universe is X number billion years old, and maybe, at least in this scenario, it's because the Tyranids murdered everyone that exists outside of our galaxy. Maybe.
It's the possibility that they ate another galaxy and they finally arrived here.
Sure.
The worst idea is they're fleeing whatever was out there, kind of like a humanity proteins kind of halo thing, right? There's that possibility as well. Any attempt to gleam into the Tyranid hive mind is nigh impossible. A couple people have done it, but they didn't really learn much besides it hates you. So, so it is just unknowable. Why is it here? What is it doing? No idea. But there are so many that how do you even begin to fight this?
Right. And they have a little Borky vibe to them where they just assimilate parts of you or defenses very, very quickly.
Yep. And so the so to go back to the Gene Stealer cults, when those Gene Stealers are shot out into the galaxy at super fast speeds, and they see that type of thing, once the Tyranids get close enough, that's when they call them the Star Children. That's when they do their uprising. The funny thing about Gene Stealer cults is that their reasons for uprising are not like they're based in real reasons. Like, you're uprising against the Imperium of Man. They're terrible.
Right.
They're absolutely awful. There's a great book called Day of Ascension, and that book is from the perspective of Gene Stealer cults. And it's a bunch of the Admech walking around basically doing Kristallnacht. They're walking in lockstep, breaking into homes and tearing people from there and then like servitorizing them. And so at this point, they're like, screw it, man, I'll revolt. I'm not even part of the alien race. I'll revolt anyway. So for them, though, once they do their revolution and they destabilize the entire world at that point, because it's known as a plan generations in the making. Right. By doing so, the Tyranids arrive, easy pickings, and then all of them are lined up and put in the giant biomass acid soup and dissolved and made into more Tyranids.
Now, are they thrilled about that, or are they like, wait a minute, this isn't what I signed up for? What the hell?
I don't. As far as I remember, I don't remember if this is actually still canon or not, because they change canon sometimes. They have a few like retcons and stuff.
I could fight the Reaper.
Their psychic link is removed before they fall into the soup. And so the last like 5 seconds of their life is, oh my god, what have I done? And then they are dissolved into acid. So, I mean, if you want it to be grimdark, man,
That's what it
we
is.
got it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So that's the Tyranids. Who else are we missing? We're missing the Tau?
Yes, your least favorite, as far as I'm aware.
They're like... It's like, which chocolate cake do you like the least? It's like not the worst.
Right.
Tau and Votons, right? So the Tau are interesting. They interesting meta history with them. They kind of came out. They were very obviously Games Workshop's attempt to get into the Gunpla, big mechs, sci-fi, that kind of thing. A bit more where the Eldar are a lot more feudal Japan. Tau are a lot more kind of modern Gundam Japan. They were kind of met with a little bit of criticism because they were not sufficiently gross enough. Like, where's your floating human skull giving you information? Like, what do you mean you have AI drones? That's not right. It's always so funny. But they also came out and they were very, very strong on the tabletop because their main thing is being very, very good at shooting and very bad at punching.
Gotcha.
So they're the faction that's like, oh, what's that little blip on the horizon? And then a railgun just like flies through your tank. But the Tau, they are an upstart species. They eventually, I believe, humans were like, oh, it's a funny little species there. Interesting.
Shall we
We'll leave them. And then a big warp storm happened. They couldn't see them. And then 4,000 years later, they were like, oh my God, they have ships. So basically, they just all kind of got together. The planet unified. You know that meme of like, the world, if X was Y instead, and it's like, oh, a perfect utopia. That's the Tau. And they've suddenly become this new faction in the world. They're not very big. Couple star systems, like 5, maybe, which is very small, but they're high tech, and they follow kind of a caste system. So they have the air caste, the water caste, very elementalist, and they look like blue people.
Yeah, they kind of look like your basic, what you would imagine a sci-fi alien looks like. They're
pretty much. They don't have a nose. They have a little like slit. They have like hooves instead of feet, kind of, sorta. And then they have a little bit of like not maybe the samurai vibe, but like a little bit of the the Gundam thing. They got their big battle mechs and they have their AI drones everywhere that kind of fly around. They're kind of Geth-like in that way.
Yes. Yeah.
All the little like helpful hands. But it's kind of hard to talk much about the Tau because when you think here is a alien society that is expanding their reach in the galaxy, and to them they talk about the greater good. It's the greater good. They want other factions to join their group because it's the Tau Empire.
Right.
The Covenant in Halo, very similar. Not religious, but in more political.
Right, we want to bring people under our control for their own good, but you're not on the same level as us kind of vibe. Like, we're the good guys, we're here to save you from yourselves, but also you are not equal to us, but we like you, like that kind of vibe.
A little bit, because the Tau, you might see the Tau, the blue people, right? But there's also the Vespid, which is this weird flying bug drone, or the Kroot. Kroot are like strong stone, like big beak, kind of chicken-looking things. Kind of like shock troops sometimes. They don't really have many other minis of the rest, but there are tons of other factions. There's I forget what it's called, but there's like a psychic bear.
You're telling me there's psychic bears and we don't have a figure of a psychic bear? How?
Brother, you're preaching to the choir. I have said this for so long. I cannot believe they don't have a mini.
You can't tell me we have psychic bear people and not have stuff for them. That's crazy.
But no, the Tau are an interesting faction. They're my least favorite, not because there's something that I genuinely dislike, but because the sci-fi Gundam aesthetic doesn't really do much for me. There are a lot of people who love their Tau, and some of the suits look great. Oh, they look fantastic. But even with that, it depends on like what part of them you like.
Sure.
Plus, there is the whole like, join us for the greater good. We're gonna help you out. And if you say no, that sucks. Too bad. We're doing it anyway. And then there's actually humans in Tau. They're called the Guavesa. They're human factioned Tau alliances.
Like, how do they view it as serving the Tau? Like, are they, hey man, this is actually pretty good comparatively.
one of the greatest positions you could possibly be as a human in Warhammer is to be extremely rich and be like one of the nobles.
Right.
Below that, if you're like a regular person, I'm sure Talon Empire is fine. Lastly, you have the Leagues of Odin. They are space dwarves. They have been
Are there
added.
dwarves in space?
There are, as of like 2 years ago. It's very recent. Very, very recent. Their main thing is that they're the usual dwarves. They have grudges. So of course they've got grudges. They're big blacksmiths. They make weapons. They're short and sturdy and tough. But they're actually more corporate stuff. But like you think about all of their names, for example, they're the Cronus Hegemony and the Trans-Hyperion Alliance and the Grand Thurian League. You know, very corporate. Their main thing is that, and actually they've done their lore quite well. The dwarves were originally humans. They try not to say that they are. They kind of like push that aside. And the humans are like, fellow human friends that are very short and stubby. And they're like, screw you, we hate you because they're dwarves. Remember Dark Age technology, they sent all those ships out to colonize the galaxy? Some were sent to the Galactic Core. The Galactic Core is a spooky place, right? A very frightening place. And so with that, some people made it there and survived. And by doing so, over the course of large amounts of years, they became acclimatized to the weirdness in there. And so from there, they kind of genetically turn more into dwarves, shorter.
So I imagine like higher gravity, that kind of vibe as...
Exactly. They're in a place with like black holes and exploding neutron stars and all kinds of weird crap, right? But for them, the Leagues of Voton, a Voton is the gigantic supercomputer that is a giant AI processor that they were sent with into that core. The thing about those supercomputers is that they were so important for the survival in the core that they kind of were a little bit deified. And so they're often known as ancestor cores. Because when you die as a Voton, the dwarves are called kin. And so when you die as a dwarf, your consciousness is uploaded to the Voton so that all of your memories and experiences are there, because all dwarves are clones. Okay. They're all clones. And they pluck the genetic material and figure it out, but they're all clones, and they're made by these Voton supercomputers. The grim darkness that's come into, of course, because every faction has been terrible something, right, is that, well, one, they're hyper late-stage factions. They are very much like, hi there, Eldar world that's peaceful. The price of nickel has gone up 2.3%, and you have a lot of nickel. We are giving you 3 weeks to evacuate, and then we will mine your world barren. They're those kinds of people.
And just to really quickly, because you mentioned dwarves, other fantasy races are thrown in as well. Like ogres are Ogron, basically, in this universe.
Yes, Ogrins. They are part of the Imperial Guard.
And there's like big dudes, but I guess technically could still be humans. They just look very ogre-ish.
Yeah, they're called abhumans. So the Imperial Guard tends to have abhumans. They also have halflings, but they're called ratlings. So,
I mean, is that the same thing with like goblins, or I'm trying to think of all the other different fantasy races, but there's just a bunch of them, and I imagine they can throw them in anytime they want.
Yeah, goblins are Gretchen. They're part of the orcs, so they got the orcs group there. Grots is also their term. They're often kicked around by orcs a lot, like just beaten up.
Just like in the fantasy, yeah, it's great, very funny.
They think it's fun.
Yeah. So you have these different factions and races existing, but then you have chaos coming in from all angles, and the Tyranids coming in reality from all angles. But there's also just other weird things, and for me, that I think is the best part about 40K, because I think something about space allows you to do a little bit more than you can in fantasy. And so when it comes to the crazy stuff happening in our galaxy, there, like you said, you just don't go near that area. What are some of your favorites of those? And what are some ones that are really interesting that people should look up and maybe investigate if they're interested in lore of 40K?
So I mean, that's probably like the ghoul stars is one of those things probably mentioned. Just like a dead zone. You know, like what is going on there? Who knows? But you were talking about this, and I knew exactly the image I wanted to find. Here is something for you. Okay. Do you recognize any of these factions?
Oh my goodness! Hold on, I gotta get full screen.
I'll make it easy. The answer is no.
What the hell? Yo, this image rules. There's like a mushroom man. This is great.
Right? What is he? What's he doing? Also, what's with the alligator with the gun for a head?
I would imagine that's supposed to be like a croc cigar kind of vibe, but like whatever he is, I love him. That's cool as hell. Right?
You got the weird like bulb head dudes with the guardsmen like using his brain like this weird puppet string. None of these images here are any named species in one. Maybe the mushroom guys. It might be the sloth. I don't know. But like as far as I can tell, these are all just factions. Games Workshop made this image just to be like, yeah, this is out there. It's not big enough to be a faction, but this just exists. I personally think in the last decade, give or take, maybe about 5 to 10 years, they've really upped a lot of their storytelling. The Necrons, for example, only have like 4 or 5 novels, and they all came out in the last maybe 5 years or so, and they're all bangers. They're all phenomenal. Whereas there's like a million Space Marines, and they like some are great, some are not.
Yeah.
But them, like, it's been going.
I mean, do you think that's because of an investment in a consistent overall narrative that has been established? Because it seems like they are trying to, with retcons and different things, actually say, this is the story of this game right now, compared to what I imagine in the 80s and 90s would be a fun little story here and there to flesh out something new they just created in a miniature form.
Yeah, so the game came before the lore.
Right.
That's just facts, right? Like way back when they wanted to sell cool armored people you can paint, because this is a nerd hobby. Don't get me wrong, but back then that was
deep
the model, deep nerd hobby, right? And eventually, whatever sold, and then they made lore out of it. This can be a little bit of a hot topic. Nice. Not a little bit, it is a hot topic on the internet world. But like all of the Space Marines are male and men, because when they sold male and female Space Marines in like the 80s, no one bought the girls. So they discontinued it. And now it's all the guys, and they wrote the lore around that. You know, things like that. The thing came first. So they made like, oh, we wanted the Terminators because Terminators are awesome. So we made the Necrons. And then they were like, okay, put the Egyptian aesthetic in there a bit. So let's do the Tomb King thing.
Yeah, the very clear retcon of, we made the Necrons, but they had to be called something before, so let's call them the Necrontyr. Like that kind of vibe. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's not a pharaoh. It's a pharaoh.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So that's, and then you have to weigh that up with like the weight of bureaucracy and authoritarian governments and all of that with the football hooligan orcs.
Right.
You know? And they're equally matched somehow. So, you know, it's so farcical, but you know, you pick and choose.
Yeah.
I have like 9 armies myself because I love playing the game. I'm a big fan of the game. I play it all the time. Well, it's like 3 hours a game, so like I play it as often as I can. But the more I get into each faction, the more I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I didn't really care about Gene Stealer cults for a while, but then they started getting this like Marxist uprising vibe to them, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of like the seeded alien interlopers rising up against the oppressors. Like, what a weird combo, you know? Yeah. Like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm very curious when they decide to add things like, you know, rats. Like, when are we gonna get space rats? Like, I'm here for that. I would show up.
People are waiting. They want them. They want the Skaven in, man.
I would show up for Space Skaven. That'd be amazing.
I'm always, my first thought is always like, oh, I don't know if they would fit in the universe. But then I look at the universe and I'm like,
yeah,
whatever, man.
Yeah, again,
who cares?
I guess orcs are mushrooms is what we're doing.
Yeah, Yeah, they're fungus. That's why it's always so hard to get rid of orcs, because they die and then eventually just decompose into more orcs. And you're like, God damn it, just stay dead.
Yeah, so I mean, like, if anything is possible, then everything is possible, and just screw it. Let's have fun. And again, I think that's when you talk about, you know, it being your universe and like that kind of thing. The idea that you can interact with it how you like is, I think, the biggest benefit it has. Is there's so many avenues to enjoy it.
And then we're going to do it this way.
More are clearly coming. They're definitely working on something. And so I love that for anyone who's just on the periphery looking in and being like, what the hell is everyone excited about? There's a lot of ways to find out.
Yeah, I mean, it's upping a lot more and more. You know, for the most part, a lot of the games that came out were kind of sometimes a bit niche titles, but then Rogue Trader came out by Owlcat. Unfortunately, it came out after Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes,
So
it's a very good game, but it came out literally at Baldur's Gate 3, which, you know, what can you do?
Yes. No, it's like you just had the bad timing.
Yeah.
But then Space Marine 2 came out, and it was a total hit. People absolutely loved it. It definitely I mean, Space Marine shooty gun is a very easy way to sell stuff. I mean, Rogue Trader gets really kind of deep into it a bit more. But it's like Space Marine did absolutely well. People got more interested in the lore from that. The secret level episode, the Astartes animation, soon to be Astartes 2 in the next year. And then, I mean, I have no idea what the Amazon Cavill stuff is. I'm a bit of a doomer at times. Like, I don't trust a ton of like that. I mean, after the Witcher stuff, you know, like I'm a little worried about it. Also, it's a very hard thing to adapt.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that some of those billions goes into it in the same way that a lot of those passion projects on Amazon just still are on. Yet I'm like, who is watching these shows? I hope it's that. I hope that, like, if we're gonna throw away money, let's make some cool looking stuff, and we'll get that. But who knows?
If I didn't think, I would hire the Fortiche, the arcane studio, to get it done with. Funny enough, a ton of Warhammer writers joined Riot.
Yep.
Graham McNeil was a big writer for Warhammer. He was one of the main writers on Arcane. If you notice, a lot of Riot properties have a lot of Warhammer-esque looks to them. And so there's definitely some inspiration.
I mean, after Arcane was over, some of that writing team, when I think it was around the same time that we got our first, like, it's happening, Henry's doing something over at Amazon, and a lot of them responded like, yo, if you're looking for writers, let us know.
Yeah, because they get it. I mean, I play Warhammer physically all the time, and I'm down here in Orange County. I constantly play in like big groups and tournaments with Blizzard and Riot employees all the time. It is a super common thing. I feel like it's like the golf of the games industry, because it's way too expensive, takes 3 hours, and it's what you do in your off time.
Yeah, good analogy. Yep.
You know, it's super common, and like everyone gets really into it, probably because it's their thing, and because the games industry has a lot of single dudes with lots of money who can spend it on stuff.
Yeah, and also, weirdly enough, having watched people play, admittedly the fantasy version, but having watched people play, there is something fun about tactile interaction, dice rolling, there's randomness, there's moving things, a giant map. It has like a war gamey feel to it, but a little elevated in the nerdy department. But you're just sitting there and you're like, all right, how far are you from me? Let me break out the ruler and we'll look and we'll see. Okay, so I have to roll 80 die, and if I get a 3-4, you take 15,000 points of damage. And it's like, okay, let's do this thing. And then you roll, and you all sit around like, okay, and what happened? There's something about that I think is very fun. It's a lot, but it's fun.
Yes. Yeah, once you get, I will always recommend you try it. Because you'll bounce off of it, or you'll be like, oh, I get it. You'll do like the Frank Reynolds type, like,
I get it,
right?
Yeah, the tears and
I get it. I mean, for me, hilariously, I fought someone who brought Angron, the Primarch of like the world leaders and demon Primarch of Khorne, who is like the biggest melee monster in the whole game. And I was playing Imperial Garb, and I was like to myself, okay, I gotta deal with Angron, fine. I have about 100 dudes. He can kill like 90 over the course of the game. So he won't get to touch my tanks. So I'm just gonna feed him men the whole time, and while he just like cleaves them apart. And I'm like, okay, good. My tanks are still shooting. I'll kill the rest of his army. No, it's just like you do things like that, and it becomes such a joke.
Looks like we can
I literally won a game by jamming my guys into like an orc vehicle and like clogging his tanks with my dead. And then he couldn't move and I won points, and I'm like, yes.
That's how I feel.
Imperium.
Yeah, that's how I feel about watching friends play. I mean, that's the extent of what I'm willing to do, because there's just a lot that goes. You have to have the time to devote to it. And you have to have like, all right, I'm gonna put those pieces somewhere, like that kind of stuff. But watching friends who are very invested is super entertaining because, and this might just because the friends that I have only pick goofy races to be. And so going back to Skaven or orcs or whatever, watching that go down, where it's like, so the whole point is I just throw my units at you and they probably will die, but you'll die too. And it's really funny to watch that happen because you can't really get mad at any RNG if it is specifically what your faction's deal is. If their whole thing is like, screw it, we definitely die a lot, then you can't be mad if the enemy's killing all your guys because that's part of your plan. And it's very interesting to watch that happen because you would think, I might be the saltiest man who ever lived when it comes to any sort of PvP anything. Even RNG. Watching, there exists footage of me playing Blood Bowl where I am mad at the game, at friends, at life. If this works, of course it didn't. Of course it didn't work. And I realize that's not the way it should be because it's a goof. It's literally getting screwed on purpose. But I'm like, I hate everyone. You're all the worst. Which is, I think, why I like Chaos. I would turn very quickly, is what I'm saying.
Chaos is a good time. RNG, so this isn't in the game before this was changed, but before, for an example like that, orcs, they had a rule where, so they hit really badly, right? You're a fancy custodian. If you roll a dice, you hit on a 2. An orc hits on, or a space marine hits on like a 3 or a higher. A guardsman hits on a 4 or a higher. Orcs hit on 5s. So only 5s and 6s. But they had a rule where if you rolled a 6, you got an extra shot. And so sometimes like an orc would just roll up and roll 10 rocket launchers. And like, statistically, you hit 3 or 4, right? But then he would just spike and hit like 4 6s and then 2 5s. So okay, he went from 10 shots on 5s and now he got 10 hits, technically. And it's like, oh god, this orc guy just spiked his dice, and now my giant tank is just dead. And it's goofy that way. And then sometimes they'll fire and they'll just like.
Now, can there be?
So like, that's fine.
Can there be a version of that where you are a guardsman, for example, and you take out some big dude like just by a dice roll? Is that?
Sure. I once fought Magnus the Red, the Primarch of the Thousand Suns. You played Space Marine 2's campaign? Do you remember when that dreadnought like burst through the wall and killed the other one? And he's like, "Where's Magnus? I'm gonna kill him." Their leader, the Thousand Suns leader. I sent 20 guardsmen into him, and they got 20 attacks, and he had like 2 HP left because he has like 18 or 16. So I whittled him down with guns. So I was like, screw it, sent them in, and then they hit on 4s. I rolled well, and then no matter how tough you are, if you roll a 6 to hurt them, it'll always succeed. And I happened to spike like 5 6s, and the poor guy rolled, he needed 2s and higher, and he rolled 2 1s. And then he spent a point to re-roll a dice, and he re-rolled it back into a 1. And then Magnus the Red, Primarch of the Thousand Suns, died due to a World War II guy with a shiv. And it's beautiful. It's cinema. It's absolute
For you,
cinema.
it's moments like that. For me, if I was that dude, I'd be like, I'm never playing this again. This is trash. You're all trash. I hate everyone here. I'd be so mad. Look at me, and I rolled a 1 again. This is stupid. What do you mean 1s? There should be no more 1s. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. There's like a sniper character, and he hits on 2s and he hurts you on 2s, and no one takes him because 2s on 2s is the best way to roll 1s. So it's It's a blast when you get into it, but obviously, you know, it is time commitment and a dollar commitment.
Oh yeah. I think that's the one of the things people mostly find out is that as a hobby, it is very expensive.
It is disposable income simulator 100%. But you know, you can do okay with like eBay and stuff. People are selling their art.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Besides that, man, is there anything else in particular you were curious about?
Yeah, I think that's generally it. Is there anything else in the
I
form
don't speak
of
Spanish.
important lore jumping in, or mechanically with the game, or I guess in general, if someone has made it this far and is still watching and still curious,
Apologies, but I don't.
if
speak
they want to
Spanish.
jump in, what would you recommend their first foray into 40K be?
That's a great question. So there is just like the pick a thing on a wiki idea, where you go to Warhammer Factions wiki and you find one. Maybe something that they thought was interesting from what I was talking about today, right? Past that, a small self plug here. I am part of a Warhammer podcast called Adeptus Ridiculous. And we are trying to be generally foot in the door for a lot of people.
Fantastic.
It's certainly not perfect. We definitely have our faults, no doubt. But we tried it because it's me who knows a decent amount, and then my co-host knows nothing. And so we started that about 4 years ago as well. And so over the course of our weekly episodes over the last 4 years, he has slowly taught more about the world and explanations.
Awesome. Would you
there.
recommend
So,
people start from the beginning of that then?
I don't know, because it's the first episode of a
they're
podcast.
always terrible.
and, like,
Always. Right. Yeah.
They're
yeah.
always terrible. So, I mean, if they want to, sure. But if they don't like it, skip ahead like 50.
What would be an episode you say, like, this is the one to start? Listen to this episode.
Honestly, I really liked our first ever orc episode.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good. I think we have a good time with it. And I think for the most part, it gets you the gist.
Great. And if you're watching this, you
So-
probably understand that I think we both really love how endearingly ridiculous orcs are. So that probably comes across
So fun.
in the episode. So, yeah. All
They're
right. Very
super
cool.
goofy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, I mean, besides that, it's Warhammer is how you make it, right? I mean, there are so many
thank you
people
for
out there.
watching, but I
would
really
recommend Luton's
don't
videos.
how to
Luton does a
speak
great
Spanish.
job. He's a fantastic content creator on there. There's a couple of, I like the Poor Hammer podcast. I want to shout them out as
electric
well.
stuff. So no
They're great
electricity
folks.
attack.
They do a great job at kind of digesting the tabletop stuff a bit more. And I think that their podcast
Down fire.
is really good. It's great stuff. I'm also on it every so often, but you know, that's its own plug.
Yeah.
Besides that,
Oh, that's not good.
I guess just stay tuned. I do have like a really big video planned about Warhammer later this year. Generally, I don't want to spoil too much of it, so just kind of, hey, I guess this is the part where I do my promo anyway, right? So like, perfect. I'm Bricky, literally everywhere. It's on Twitch, it's on Twitter and Blue Sky, or I think it's on Blue Sky. It's on all the places, YouTube, etc. I will have funny Warhammer stuff later. And if you like talking about video games, I also do that.
Oh yes,
So it's pretty good.
Finally.
If you want to learn more,
Finally,
all
the
Ricky
fool.
stuff is available
Or
online.
XP.
There's so much to find. You now have a
Game
podcast
burst.
to go listen to, and a future video coming down the pipeline. Thank you for being on. That was very cool. I love learning about stuff like this, especially stuff that I am now slowly becoming more invested in. This was awesome.
We did it! Let's do the same thing.
We don't see that kind of chest often.
All right, please. Ah, damn it. Right, sir. Let's see if you can give me some XP.
We can caught them by surprise. Stay on guard!
Damn it!
The enemy! You're on a roll! Now let's finish you!
Go for the flood.
That's a clean hit.
Oh god.
You think you can hit me? Nice reflexes, Yukari-chan.
So I'm in Merciless, the highest difficulty.
It's gonna win this.
If you understand that.
Darkness seems effective here.
I'll go with.
Yes, this is your chance.
Here we go. Serious damage.
Champi, Kirito-senpai.
This should help.
Thanks.
Pull the trigger. Ice it.
Much obliged.
Appreciate it. What to do or something.
Oh no, he's dead! You're dead!
That about does it.
All right.
No shadows detected.
A vi-
Yes. Hey, there's a second.
I won't miss my chance.
They don't seem very strong.
Not that.
I could attempt to use fire, but I'm just gonna attack him.
Yes, they're on a roll.
Get ready.
There's no choice. So you can't run. Let's do the same thing for our next fight. I always doze off in Mr. Edogawa's class. Maybe I should record his lectures for when I can't fall asleep.
Sorry, please. We're here trying to take over tower. What do you want?
Good day. Are you accepting a request?
Bring me a right.
Let's hear the result.
What of that? Oh, I already pressed. Hold on, juice. Plus. Oh shit!
Very well.
I'm that level now.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
I give you all the elements
Ah,
you need.
damn it! I don't.
What kind of persona do you desire?
No, I do not want that.
Which will
I need to
you
get more
Very
personas. Yeah.
We look.
Okay.
there's a shadow.
No, I need to fight both personas.
Pay attention.
So much SP on one target. Oh, it's not weak against fire.
I'll take care of this.
That's surprising. I'm pretty sure it's not weak against lightning. Well, damn it. Maybe it was lightning. Wind! Heat wave!
Try harder.
You dodged the attack. Nice one.
Let's go.
Thou die! It's not.
That's a win for
Isn't
the
that
team.
a weakness
Good
thing?
job, everyone. Whew. All right, let's get moving.
I'm sure these lights might drive some people insane, but that won't work on me.
I'll start preparing the analysis. Looks like fire will work great. I'm still setting up.
Best bet.
It'll take a little
No,
more
why not?
time.
Oh my god.
Now's the time.
Well, at least it was not. At least it was not at the. Where they were hurt.
Knock one down. Leader, go for it.
What to do?
The enemy lines are broken.
And sitting on the toilet.
Good teamwork, everyone. Now on to the next.
Yes. Yes, Kuka, I know. The door. There's a door here. I shall find. Look for the door.
Is this what it looks like inside a nightclub?
Yeah.
So this is where the stairs were.
That's not what I was looking for, ma'am. Look, I'm almost done with Tartarus today. That's surprising. Ah, here it
One of those
is.
doors.
Go, go, go. Escape.
Let's do this.
Scale, dude. Okay. Let's.
Let's do this.
I'll start preparing the analysis.
How should I? One step at a time. Let's do it! Caesar!
Too slow.
How dare you! You've been knocked down! No!
You rat bastard. The brave blade you for that. Damn.
We came prepared.
Thanks!
I should save it, but
Protect you all!
this thing is gonna kick my ass. Oh damn.
Let's get away this.
Please dodge, please.
You can
Thank
hit
God.
me? Nice reflexes, Tartarus!
Oh, thank you.
The enemy! I have to do this. Have fun! Persona!
So you!
Lightning onslaught.
Here it comes! Go back to hell!
Nice.
Let's
That
keep this
about does
momentum up.
it. No shadows detected.
Do I already have one of you? No. Should I do it? Okay.
Oh, hello.
Silver bullet. Evil right. Arrow. Go. Oh. Wait, there's a treasure chest there.
Enemy spotted.
Ah, damn it.
Keep
It's
it
a
going.
group of 4. They're not tough, but they've got the initiative.
I feel sick.
Ooh, that was close. Nice reflexes, Yukari-chan.
Here we go.
That's it! Enemy down! Sonata-senpai knocked an enemy down!
Good work, Akihiko.
Enemy down!
Good work, Akihiko.
Don't pull any punches.
Now to finish you!
Knockout blow.
I already have that man on the toilet.
I'll keep fighting. For him.
Perfect. Just what we hoped for. It's a treasure chest.
Please give me one more level.
Yes, we got the advantage! Yes, then I can handle 2 enemies down!
Roger that! Pull the trigger.
Come!
Seniority!
We're not gonna go easy!
Woo! You won. Money, of course, the money. Yes, that's a good one.
And that's how it's done!
Is it only for me
Certainly
though?
went well.
That's only for me. For the main character. Next floor. Oh,
Powerful enemy spotted! Please be
Chaos
careful.
Panzer. Ah, shit.
No.
Ah,
not that.
shit. I need to go prep. Oh, this is gonna be painful for me. I need to heal. Wait, I'm not gonna bring Junpei. Bye, Junpei. I'm bringing Matsuru. Right. Alright, come here, you bastard.
3 targets. They're weak, but don't be careless.
Oh, oh, nice.
Let's do it.
Didn't think it would go that well.
This should be a good test of your strength. But don't get careless. Last one. Let's finish this.
Guard.
It is time. This is mine.
Sense up for everyone. The Chaos Man next. Ray Blade. Yes!
Excellent.
Get ready.
Now you're ready. In this situation,
More heals.
I appreciate it.
What's the plan here?
How about
I should have loaded this up. Its defense at the beginning. Oh no, it's whenever I tab out.
situation under analysis?
Basically, the pausing the game.
Activating. Palladium, move out. Adjusting aim.
What?
I'll go with it.
And
That
they're
about
dead.
does it. No shadows
My
detected.
god.
I've learned a new skill.
Ailment boost. Do I want that? Increased chance of inflicting ailment. I have the frost and the freezing boost and this boost, so I don't need the ailment boost.
This will improve my
Ooh,
capability.
Primal Force. Let's get through this.
Are you watching your health and stamina? Remember not to push yourself too hard.
Feet card. Where's the third? 3.
Hey!
Yes, Yukari, you can have the bow. Oh my, I can use it. Okay, before going up, I should go make that person. Ah, shit, I can't. Ah, shit.
All systems are go.
Okay. Okay, where?
This world is the picture.
This is our opportunity. Still setting up. It'll take a little more time. In this situation, I won't lose. Hey, that's just unfair.
I'll hit them where it hurts.
I'm still setting up. Go! It'll take a little more time. Summoning! Victory shall be ours!
Oh, they're weak to piercing. Nice.
Well executed, Aegis.
That's it!
Well executed, Aegis.
All squadrons, forward!
Now
Enemy signal destroyed!
Ooh, revolution card.
Mission complete.
Salut.
Sure, you can go ahead. You take all of the. Oh yeah. Oh
A
shit!
one-way teleporter is nearby. Will you return to the entrance?
Damn it! No, I'm taking it.
Welcome back.
Oh, sword, please.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. Now then, let's
Have you all
Oh,
the
This
finally.
would be a wise choice.
Do
What
it.
do you wish to inherit?
Oh, I need that. Sewing. Debuff nullification. And percolate.
It appears it will receive a fair amount of extra.
A new power emerges.
Alright, girls. Become that weird clock thingy.
You can't control this one yet.
Oh, wait. I still haven't made a Byako? I should do that.
Which will you choose? What kind of persona do you desire?
Oh, I can make a door.
This would be a wise. Please choose what skills to inherit.
It appears it will receive an
It's finally time.
Yes, the music is indeed good. Oh! They counter. Comes the ramp. God hand. Didn't get God hand.
Very well. We look. Resuming the operation.
Alright. Damn it. Whatever. I don't need you, Akihiko. I might need Akihiko. Thing.
We gotta handle you. It's tough.
Do I have... Did I... No. I guess I'll just use it. No, not lightning.
Well executed. There you go. What next? Let's end it. Just one more. Take that.
This will do the trick.
How about this? Activating. Palladium. You dodged it. Stand firm, leader. Well executed. Lariat dash. You can't run.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Have to do this. I missed.
Much
Thank you very
obliged.
much. How about this? That was a beautiful strike, Kirito-senpai. All enemies defeated. Good work out there.
That's a lot of XP. Insta heal recovery. L magic. 1 turn. God, that is good. I have other personas that can do that. So.
Whew. All right, let's get moving. Yes, we got the advantage. Piercing. My arrows are bullets.
It doesn't have it. Hercules!
Well executed. Down.
It's all
You
you.
got this. Roger that. Exceptional sight. We're not gonna go easy. Lariat dash. You can't run. Lead
What's Siegfried?
That went great. We beat them to a pulp, as they say.
I must go through every inch. Oh,
What should we do
shit.
about the door?
I door. You and me. It's you and me. Wait, who is it this time? Oh! Oh, God. Be sure I know your...
Let's do this.
Prepare to engage.
He's weak and striking and... Okay.
Focus.
Of course you use poisonous now. Yeah.
That's it. Enemy down.
The time is right.
You hit a weakness. Activating. Persona. Direct hit on a weakness. Amazing, Argus.
Not on the girl. No!
Here's you.
Damn it.
But not down.
This should work.
You rat bastard!
In this situation,
That's gonna heal itself, that's fine. It healed itself back. I don't like it. Palladium!
Well executed, I guess.
maximum firepower. I have to do this. It won't do.
He's gonna heal himself again, that bastard. Oh, poison mist. That's fun.
Hikari-chan's been poisoned. Do you have an antidote? Well, amazing. Ammunition ready. Weapon free. I'll show you my power. The operation was a success. Good job, everyone.
Did I lose my Susano? How did I do it?
Oh, hello.
More material! Not like I didn't know what was on this floor. Ooh! Hello there, Golden Hand.
Great.
But first, please, please, please give me the thing. No, it did not give me the thing.
The 191st floor. This tower's map.
Sorry, Mitsuru. I must fight this thing.
That one's special. Take it down if you can.
Attack!
I'll hit them where it hurts.
What to do?
D-ramp. Let's go with Primal Force. Oh, what?
I'll show you my power.
But I use Primal Force. Oh, thank you.
It's no prisoner.
Maybe I should keep Aegis.
Critical hit.
I already have that, so. How much XP?
Complete.
Oh, yeah.
We beat them to a pulp. Oh, there's a treasure chest. Everything will be become clear soon enough. All we can do now is press on.
I could
Down
go
the
up.
stairs. Wanna head up? Careful. The enemy's nearby. It's a
Need a better weapon.
Shadow sighted. Initializing combat mode.
Really don't need to. They're afraid of me right now. Oh, there it is.
Seems like we've...
Empowerment Sutra. Oh.
Powerful enemy spotted! Please be careful! Leader!
I'm going in.
All right.
I'll hit them where it hurts.
First, I lowered the defense.
Alicia. Careless. This doesn't look good.
This doesn't
Pull
look
the
good.
trigger. Ice it.
Much obliged. Appreciate it.
That was terrifying.
Entering full automation mode. Maximum output. I'm still setting up. It'll take a little more time.
I need a light propeller. Yeah, but you don't have the things I want. Oh no, that is terrible. You have the things I want? No. Alright, I'm just gonna stick with 4 for now. And use... Never mind. Starlight Habit! Crit! Yay! Good weapon.
What's the plan here?
Nope, I need you to heal everyone.
I'll use this.
Thank you for your support. In this situation,
Actually, I'll just use the chain bead. Bead chain.
Let's end this.
Oh wait, no, I can deal with the main character.
Take that.
persona, engage!
What to do?
I appreciate it.
I'll hit them where it hurts.
Slashing won't work. Don't bother with swords.
I'm ready. How about crit?
That about does it. No shadows detected.
Maybe I am overleveled.
With this, I can fight even better.
Greetings.
I can keep going.
We don't see that kind.
I'll see you later. Alright, give me something good. Give me something fun. Ooh, tuxedo. Not for me. What? And who's it for? I'm gonna go to the... Go back to the first door. Is it for the kid? Why does the kid get a tuxedo and I don't? It's actually adorable.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. Now then,
What kind of persona do you desire? Seeing what personas come to be is a great joy.
this persona is powerful. This would be a wise choice.
Ah. I do want this guy.
You can't control this one yet.
Hopefully I'm
This
just gonna get
persona,
it.
please choose what skills to inherit.
I probably should take the lightning, but I'm not going to. I'm going to insta heal and then brave play. Oh, let's get one more. Not wind damping.
It appears it will receive an
It's finally time.
Do I want Hama boost?
This persona is powerful. This would be a wise. Please choose what skills to inherit.
It appears it will receive.
A new power emerges. Are you finished? We look forward. Oh, there's a treasure chest.
I wonder how much longer it'll take.
Damn it. Damn this game.
There's a shadow.
We got the initiative. They don't seem very strong.
What next? This will do the trick. Too late for you now. Now, Ikuru-senpai. Like fish in a barrel.
I think I can use it now.
That's nice, Fuka. I don't need it right now.
That's a win for the team. Good job, everyone.
Zoo.
Okay, let's keep on exploring.
Zoo. You want grateful dog?
We found the stairs.
for you?
I am ready to move out at any time. Awaiting orders.
So wait, is there no more like super door?
We have the advantage. The way to go.
I'll hit them where it hurts. Go! Artemisia!
Artemisia.
I knocked one enemy down.
Yukari, can you do it?
I love you, Yukari.
I won't lose. All right. Here we go. Now you're back. You can't run.
Serving the peace. Look into my eyes.
I'll go with.
Nanashi.
That about does it. No shadows detected.
And on toilet. XP.
A victory well earned.
Shadow detected nearby. It's our chance to go first. Two enemies active. We can take them.
Hey, that's just unfair.
Slashing won't work. Don't bother with swords.
Ume is leaving. That being
Somebody asked, did you see the debut? Yeah, I was watching. I really love the new video for the debut. I mean, it is, right? I really love the aesthetic. Like the color combination of everything. It's just like pretty much my taste. I mean, I just like the color green, right?
I'm sorry, my hair is not green though.
I don't really have nightmares that often, so.
Haha!
Perfect. Just what we hoped for.
Treasure chest identified. Stairs located.
We have the advantage. I'll hit them where it hurts. Nowhere to run. You're defenseless now. Checkmate.
to do?
Darkness seems effective here.
Demonic decree.
Amazing.
Nice.
Nice reflexes, Yukari-chan.
Demonic decree.
Well executed.
Get ready.
Let's do the same thing for our next fight.
There's a treasure chest. What should we do?
Open it. What else will we do?
Found the stairs. Wanna head up? Another one of those doors. I'll do it.
Let's do this.
Wind isn't good on this one. We'll have to try something else.
What to do? This one.
Looks like fire will work great. Amazing! You're on a roll!
Get ready.
What's the plan here? Artemisia!
What next? I've already scanned this one. Summoning. Persona.
I'll hit them where it hurts.
I've already scanned this one.
Go! Artemisia!
In this situation, ice doesn't seem to have any effect. Looks like fire will work great. Focus. I'll show you my power. Wind isn't good on this one. We'll have to try something else.
What to do?
The enemy lines are on the roll. Now to finish you.
We have two.
Oh, hello.
There's a treasure chest.
Just want to start this video by saying we have members who joined
on their own free will.
Just kidding. Thank you so much, members, and thank you for those on Patreon who have been supporting me. I appreciate you guys. Anyways, let's get into the video. It's great.
Fire rescue. Hey, I was taking a shower, slipped and fell, and really matter at the smacked out of his hand because he was just.
How are some of these people alive?
Then I smacked him for smacking me, and then finally, I was able to easily put the fire out by smothering it with the lid.
You're right. Your wife's gonna kill you.
I love it here.
Dude. Hey everyone, welcome to Surviving the Fire Service, where I'll help you navigate some of the firefighters. This is stupid, man. Nobody needs this crap, Josh. Because you don't like something doesn't mean no one else can.
Yes, it does.
Honestly, after yesterday's training, I'm excited to just keep learning.
I'm excited to not talk to Josh ever again. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
How long does it take you, Mike? Well, I mean, this one time. Exactly. Guys, let's just try to keep this positive. Hey, stop writing negative comments on people's posts, man. It doesn't make it cool. Back to crap. We didn't eat this soft crap back when you were tough. How's your back, blood pressure, and third marriage, Carl?
Damn!
Shut. Lilith, you know what? Let's just end this class answering a question.
Yeah, I could never.
You all already know the answer to. Who hates on firefighters the most? Other firefighters. Other firefighters.
Wait, is this like an actual thing? Do they hate on each other? Is it like a I'm right, you're wrong? That sucks because they gotta be able to work together to, you know, traverse the insanity that is literally any emergency.
Hey, Jim, you better
I'm so sorry, Carl. Just kidding, Carl. You sound like an asshole.
911. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so what's going on with you?
Sir? Wait, why are we so insane?
Me? No.
Sir?
He's down the street, so I'm out. Well, why are we here? I'll figure out we give you guys this address, and then we'll kind of figure it out from there, right?
What the?
Right? We're in a simulation. Hey, Jim, you better get back off this. Alright, so you flip up the bike and hit your head, but you have no pain. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!
Sorry, not one down.
Oh my god, this one.
Focus.
Dude, his... Oh my...
And you remember everything. Fight, force, asshole.
Your name?
Alright.
Name?
Huh?
Oh no.
Jimmy. Let me see that.
Jimmy Neutron, wait.
What's your last name, Jimmy?
Oh no. Stop!
Yeah, you're definitely
You!
Alright, so what's up with
You are a
Never wanna-
cheater.
What's all? What's all?
What's up?
Oh, yeah.
Kidney?
I was trying to remove his catheter, but it wasn't coming out, so I started to help. Then I realized that the cuff was deflated.
Dude, we. Oh! I'm standing in front of this one. That's a red flag. I don't want to get stabbed. So this is a thing that catheter is. Oh.
This thing of breath stuck in my head. I mean, and how do you do that? No, I was starting my engine, and then my AC vent started meowing.
I'm sorry, just the thought of like a dude just sitting there and rattling like a fake tail and going, it's just so cute.
All right, well, let's get him out. Honestly, he's a really nice cat.
He's stressed out. It is him. Yeah, I know, because he knows all the roles. I love it. Oh my god.
911, call for Greg. Why are we back here again? Remember when I started having chest?
Wait, is Greg like an ongoing character? Dang, I wish it played the other Greg with Greg. I love this. Yeah, this is great. Hi, Cthulhu. Yeah, I've seen only some of his stuff in passing, and it's freaking amazing. So when I saw it was suggested to me, I was so excited. Greg is just... Is Greg me? Is Greg me on a usual Saturday morning? Greg is me. I am Greg. We are Greg. Yes, Greg is the hive mind. Kind of like Susan has been. We're all Greg.
You hit a weakness.
What's the plan here?
Artemisia! Eureka, I'm not one enemy down! Focus! You hit a weakness!
I'll hit them where it hurts.
Go! Artemisia! As peaceful as expected.
Here we come!
Ammunition!
Okay, let me in.
Using items.
I'll go with. Never mind what to do. Persona.
Yes! You're on a roll!
Here we go.
Now I can finish your capacity! Unusual mental ailment detected.
What's wrong with me?
In this situation... ISIS! Activating. The enemy! You're on a roll!
Let's do it.
Can't afford to lose! Oh no! You've got to get up somehow! And hit!
I was careless.
Are you okay?
I'm ready.
I'll show you! As a razor will come up, one enemy down! Pull the trigger! Come! Blast it!
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. I'll show you my power. This is my duty.
We came prepared.
I'll get him this time. Focus. That's a win for the team. Good job, everyone. Is that? Good day. Very well. I've been waiting for you. Marvelous. I'm looking for... How may I assist you?
I too. What kind of persona do you desire? Have you... Which will you choose? Seeing what personas come to be is a...
This one is somewhat beneath you. Please choose what skills to inherit.
It appears it will Why, this is exciting, isn't it?
Whoopsies. Where'd my glasses go? Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Oh, there it is.
Seeing what personas come to be is a great joy of mine.
Alright, I'm gonna have to start making things that I don't fully care about. Siegfried, combined with you, become a Raphael. Raphael combined with Siegfried.
Take all the time you need to consider.
I should get rid of the throne. Why am I not thinking about the throne? Suzaku.
This power might be too much for you.
Later.
Are you finished? We look...
Blue swimwear. Who's that? Me? Actually. Give you the battle wheel. Have to have that on. His. Damn it. Moment, I have a audio source that's been crazy. There we go. Omega Sphere. Remember, the fog has lifted. I have no reason to waver in the first place. The world will be saved by the King of Destruction. He who gathers the shadows will be the one who rules. Let us call him the Prince. Prince? This may turn into pain. Let's do this.
Be careful!
I'm ready to strike! Artemisia! Don't bother! You can't hide from me! Finale! What should I do?
In this situation, time to shine! Hurry-chan, knock one down!
I'm ready to go.
Leave it to you!
Taking charge! This will do the trick. Persona!
That's it! Raise enemy down, guys!
What to do?
Yeah, do you have yam? No, you do not have yam. Okay, do you have yam? Yes, you have the amp.
Never mind.
Looks like you can target a weakness.
This one I'll go with. Never mind.
Nice.
2 enemies defeated at
One
once.
step at a time. The best bet would be.
What to do?
Do a brave blade.
The enemy.
Oh god, this is so much easier.
What's the plan here?
Did I stand on this enemy? I see. So this is what we're up against. How about this?
It's
Not
not
about
just
desert.
my fight anymore.
No shadows detected.
Not having a next battle, so. Nice.
Oh, hello.
Give me your mail.
Nice.
Moon Tarot card and the Book of Luck. The Moon Tarot card, Moon Tarot card. All current party members will have their HP restored by the moon. That's pretty good. Kind of players by 1.
Oh?
Uh-huh.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, let's go up, 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 up.
This is...
Progress further. Nicely done, leader. Document 8. I've decided to leave the institution. I refuse to be involved in any crime. The head researcher decided not to come with me. Maybe I'll open a shop with my collection of antiques. Holy shit, wait, is she a...
I remember the days when I was happy we had reached the 100th floor.
I see.
Oh, shit. More lore about a new character, nice.
Good. Here are my wonderful. Of course.
Money's not what I wanted.
Very well.
But I'm gonna save it here. Because I do have my burst thing is bursting is in here. I try to attempt to do something. And if I have time during the week, I'll probably fuse.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. Now then, let's begin.
Well then, shall we take a look?
This would be... Please choose what skills to inherit.
And Horny Star.
It appears it will receive a... Well then, shall we begin?
Let's do the funny. Inferno! Holy shit! Better than the funny. It was hilarious.
Please choose the personas you would like to fuse. personas come to be is a great joy of mine.
Are you satisfied with this? This one is please choose what skills to inherit.
It appears it will. Why, this is exciting, isn't it?
Are you satisfied? Please choose what skills to inherit.
It appears it will receive.
A new power emerges. This persona is please choose what skills to inherit.
It appears it will receive.
So it begins. Very well. We look.
Right. I want to have a big going. 3 hours. 3 hours good enough. Alright. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with Liza P. I do want to keep playing that. There is more other things, but Liza P, and then I will not be streaming on Thursday. Well, depending on what I feel like. Pretty far on this one. Finished another day of Tartarus. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you can, like and subscribe. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are, what you're doing. And goodbye!